The Echo Worm. 1,000 years ago, in the Song dynasty of China, there was a scholar named Yang Mian. When he was in his 40s, he contracted a very strange disease. When he spoke, a voice in his stomach followed, just like an echo. In the beginning, the imitation sound was quiet, and then the voice became louder and louder year by year. He was very distressed and didn't know what to do. Once, a Taoist priest came to visit him. Mr. Yang said, "Welcome, please come in." Then his stomach also said, "Welcome, please come in." At first, the Taoist priest didn't pay attention. He thought that the host was so polite, that's why he repeated a few more words. When Mr. Yang politely handed over the tea and said, "Please have a cup of tea," his stomach also said, "Please have a cup of tea," which attracted the attention of the Taoist priest. The Taoist priest asked him to speak again. Mr. Yang asked inexplicably, "What do you mean?" The same voice came from his stomach. Then the Taoist priest said, "You can say anything." Mr. Yang said, "What are you doing?" The Taoist priest listened to every sentence he said, and there was an imitation sound from his stomach, and the Taoist priest was surprised. He said, "Oh, you have echo worms in your stomach. If you don't treat it as soon as possible, it will also infect your wife and family." Mr. Yang said in distress, "This problem has tormented me, and I don't know how to cure it." The Taoist priest took a sip of tea and said, "It's easy. You just take the book, Materia Medica, to read. There is a famous ancient Chinese medicinal herb collection book called Materia Medica." The Taoist priest said, "Just read each herb's name one by one and page by page. When you read a name that your stomach doesn't make the echo sound, you just take that herb as medicine, okay?" After sending off the Taoist priest, Mr. Yang immediately took a copy of Materia Medica and opened it on the desk. He said happily, "The blabber is about to die." His stomach also happily responded, "The blabber is about to die." Mr. Yang said, "I'm talking about you." Of course, his stomach also said, "I'm talking about you." Mr. Yang and his stomach scolded each other for a while before he started to read Materia Medica angrily. He read and read for several days. Finally, when he read the name of the herb, thunder pill, Lei Wan in Mandarin, his stomach was silent. So, he immediately went to a drugstore and bought thunder pills, taking a few of the pills after every meal. Since then, his disease has been eradicated, no more voice from his stomach. A writer called Peng Qing did not believe this story of the echo worm. He said to his friends, "There is no echo worm in the world." Once, when he was traveling, he passed by a square surrounded by a large group of people. He asked curiously, "What are you guys doing?" People said, "We are watching a beggar perform a stunt." "What stunt?" "Just watch it by yourself." Mr. Peng couldn't see clearly from the outside. The audience clapped and laughed for a while. Finally, he squeezed hard into the crowd to see. What a stunt! It turns out that there are echo worms in the beggar's stomach, just like the story he heard. After the audience had dispersed, Mr. Peng went to the beggar and said to him, "You are sick. As long as you take the herb thunder pill as medicine, you will be cured. The beggar replied, "Thank you for your kindness. I know I am sick, but I am so poor that I have no food to eat, and I have no other choice but to use this gift to attract people to give me money." Mr. Ping felt very sad when he heard it, so he went home and wrote down this anecdote of the echo worm, so that future generations could read it to understand how our society works. In some versions of this story, the echo worm was described as a monster formed by evil thoughts. In Chinese culture, the word echo worm, Yingxing Chong, is used to describe the people who are undecided and always follow or agree with others. Especially the people who always please their bosses. Anyway, this word is definitely not a compliment. What do you think of today's story? Please subscribe for more interesting stories.